So do you want to just do your time at the Bear County Jail and be done with this case?
No, I do not.
Then why do you keep skipping tests?
Well, at first it was because it's a certain way you have to do it. When you plug it in, you wait 60 seconds and then you have to wait an additional 90 seconds. So I wasn't plugging in a lot because of my kids, so they wouldn't get to it.
You
And
mean
then I
because of your
plugged it in.
children?
Huh?
You mean because of your children, kids
Yeah.
or baby goats?
No, my children.
All right. So what's going on with your children?
Well, they okay. I just had a baby, October 18th. We just currently moved out of our apartment.
All right. Who is we?
Me, my 3 kids.
Children.
My children, yeah, I'm
Yes.
sorry. But yeah, me and my children just moved out, January 1st, back to my mom. So I'm currently looking for a bigger house and, still looking for employment as well, since I just had a baby, so it's kind of hard.
So where's the father? And this is just me asking because I'm curious.
He's not around. He went back to Chicago.
All right. So why don't people make plans and do some research before they consider having a child with somebody?
I mean,
Are we
did
just
have
out here?
plans.
Are we just out here having children?
No, we actually did have plans. He who got the house, the furniture and everything, we just didn't work out. So I packed up and I got a U-Haul truck and I moved my stuff out and went back to my mom's and he left.
All right. Here's the thing. If you skip another test, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. So it's probably in your children's best interest that you stay with your mother until this probation is done, because let me just tell you what will happen. If a motion to revoke is filed with you and you're living by yourself with your children, you know what's going to end up happening? CPS is going to get called. And when CPS gets called, they're going to take your children. Then once they take your children, what will end up happening is they'll see if there's a relative who's willing to take all 3. Maybe your mom will say, you know what, I'll step up to the plate, I'll take all 3. Or maybe she may say, you know what, I can't handle 3 children, I'll take 1. And then your children will be spread out to different people, or either they will be in the foster system and they may be spread out in the foster system with 3 different people. How old are your children?
11, 8, 7, and 4 months.
All right. So usually what I can tell you in Child Protective Services cases, everybody wants the baby. And you know why they want the baby? Because they feel as though maybe the baby hasn't suffered too much trauma because they're just a baby. So everybody wants the baby. The 11-year-old, usually in the foster care system, people are like, 11-year-old is too old. So what will end up happening if you don't get your act together is that there's a potential for your children being placed in the foster care system and being split up. So you're going to be living with your mother. You're not moving from your mother's home until this case is done. Do you understand?
When would this case be done, Your Honor?
You'll talk to probation about that. So you're going to live with your mom. And moving around from place to place is not good for children anyway. Ms. Abrams, she's going to stay with her mom. If there's another skipped test, what's going to end up happening is just file a motion to revoke. And if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
It's always been negative.
All right. So, and we'll do a drug test today for her. Do you have any questions about anything?
I mean, I do. I feel like since I had the breathalyzer, I never, not once missed. I always blow 3 times a day. If anything, I'm late, but as far as missing, I always blew 3 times a day. So I don't understand why.
From January 5th, 2024 to February 6th, 2024, there have been 16 skip tests. So that's where we are.
It's impossible.
Well, that's what I have.
And Judge, a skip test is a late test, just to make clarification for the court.
Yes.
So even if you're 5 minutes late, they consider that as a skip.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're going to live with your mom? Get her address for her mom? That's where you're going to live until this probation is completed. You're not going to skip any more tests. If you skip another test, we're not going to have this conversation. Just file a motion to revoke. And if it's in proper order, I'm going to sign it. And it's better for you to be at your mother's house with your children if a motion to revoke is filed than on your own. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. Louis. All right, why is it taking you forever to provide your list of medications?
She didn't notify me that I had came out positive. I had reported to her. She
Well,
didn't.
no, let's stop right there. When the probation officer says, I want a list of your medications, it doesn't matter whether you came out positive or not. They want a list of your medications. I don't know what people don't understand. Let me explain to you something about probation. Probation is what people call being on paper. That means that your life is not your own. And you know why your life is not your own? Because when you're on probation, it's a contract. And if you violate the contract, you're looking at going to prison. So really, probation owes you no explanation when they're asking for documentation for something. So whether you had a positive UA or not, they are looking at prison. Do you understand? And when they tell you, I want your prescriptions, you need to provide your prescriptions. Do you understand? If you do not provide your prescriptions, if you do not provide what your probation officer is asking for when requested, guess what? We're not going to have this conversation anymore. What's going to end up happening is the motion to revoke is going to be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand if a motion to revoke is filed, you're looking at potentially 10 years in the prison?
Yes, ma'am.
So your actions, you need to start asking yourself, when you don't want to do something that probation is asking of you, you need to ask yourself, is this worth potentially going to prison for 10 years? If the answer is yes, then don't do it. And guess what will end up happening? A motion to revoke will be filed. When a probation officer asks you for information, you give it. If you feel as though probation doesn't deserve to know this, you still give it. And then you come to court and you speak to Ms. Abrams or you speak to me and say, hey, probation asked for this. I gave it to them, but I don't understand why they want it. No one will explain it to me. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I see a list of medications that you're on. So some of these medications should fall by the wayside because the hydrocodone, that's supposed to be taken for severe cough. And I see it was refilled in November 2023. Are you still suffering from a severe cough?
No.
Okay, at some point that's supposed to end. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And then the ibuprofen for moderate pain, that's not supposed to be every day. I'm not a doctor, but I do know that if you take too much ibuprofen, that messes with your kidneys. So that's not supposed to be an everyday thing. And this is me as a non-doctor. Whenever a doctor wants to give people medications, and I've had family members who had medications for certain things, if you're getting ibuprofen for pain, and I see 3 times you've been given it, guess what? You need to find out what the pain is for, because ibuprofen, it doesn't cure the pain. All of this stuff just masks the problem. The problem is still there, but you just don't feel it. So you probably need to start talking to your doctor and asking what's going on if you're on these meds. Do you understand? Now, if you're drug tested today, are you going to be positive for any of this? Are you still taking hydrocodone?
No.
Okay. Are you still taking ibuprofen?
No.
When's the last time you took those medications?
Last month.
All right. So you should be negative. Have you taken anything?
No.
All right. So when you're drug tested today, is it going to be negative?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we're going to do a drug test today. Is there anything else that you're having issues with?
No, ma'am.
Anything? Now's the time to tell me.
No.
All right. So last time it says that you were positive for opiates at the beginning of February. So
Yeah.
you should be negative. Okay. So you're going to be negative. You haven't used anything.
No.
All right. Just have a seat. We will do that.
Yeah.
All right. Why would I ask you if you're going to be positive for something? You said you would be positive for nothing.
I didn't even.
But you're positive for methadone. How can
Yeah,
you
I
not
don't
know?
even know what that is.
All right. Miss Abrams.
I'm telling her, I mean, I take Benadryl, like melatonin to fall asleep, but I don't know.
You can't be using any medication that is not prescribed to you while you're on probation, and methadone is a drug that has to be prescribed. So has he had a TAP evaluation?
Tap evaluation, no judge.
All right, what we're going to do with him is we're going to do the UA hotline. And we'll do the TAP evaluation out of custody. And I'm going to want 90 meetings from him in 90 days. So you're going to do 90 sober meetings for the court, and you're going to do those in 90 days. Sober support meetings are the AA meetings, NA meetings. They're all over town. You understand?
The
And you're going to
AA meetings.
they're similar to AA meetings, but they just call them sober support meetings now. So you're going to do 90 of those in 90 days. So every day you need to be going to a meeting. We're going to do the UA hotline. Has he previously been, Ms. Abrams, was he ever previously referred to felony drug court? All right, we're going to do a referral to felony drug court as well. And I know you're probably saying to yourself, I cannot believe the judge is doing that to me. This is a problem. You know, I don't know where I got this methadone. Here's the thing. I'm trying to help you be successful in probation. Testing positive for methadone and you don't have a prescription, guess what? That's a violation of your probation. And for that violation, you could be sent to the prison for up to 10 years in prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So what's going to end up happening is they're going to get a TAP evaluation for you done. You're going to be referred to felony drug court. Do not miss an appointment with felony drug court. You understand?
What is that, ma'am?
Probation is going to give you information on that, but it is one of the treatment courts, and they'll be able to help you with your drug or alcohol problem, and you need to be 100% honest with them. You understand? So don't go in front of them saying, I don't know where I got methadone. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you leave here today, do not celebrate, yay, I didn't go to prison, because the last time you use may be the last time you use. Do you have a mom or family members who are currently alive? Do you have family members?
Just my mother-in-law and father-in-law.
All right. You don't want them to have to identify your body because you got a bad batch of drugs. You understand?
Yes.
All right. So just have a seat. Probation is going to go over your new conditions. All right. All right. So you know why you're here?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Why are you here?
Because of the field visit and because of my work.
Yes. So why is it that you say you work, but you've never submitted to them a pay stub or a paycheck or anything?
So, ma'am, before I got sentenced to come see you, she told me to bring paperwork like the day that she sentenced me to come see you, and I brought it to her, and she still sentenced me to come see you. I don't understand why I brought her.
Because you're not doing, because here's the thing. Why is it that I have to have you come in here when you know you're supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing? For example, the field team, the report I have that you've been employed for over a month, but they don't know the name of your employer, which you know what that means? That means that you didn't give it to them and they asked for it. They say that you hadn't received a paycheck. And I know how some jobs are. When my mom first started working, they would call it a paycheck in the hole. You wouldn't get paid immediately, but that's not your case. So why do we have to have a meeting for you to turn over documentation that you're actually employed?
So with my employment, before I came here, I gave her 3 of my recent pay stubs. I'm not sure why she didn't put it in. The same day that she told me to come in and bring my paperwork in is the same day that she told me.
But why do we have to get to this point? That's what I'm trying to understand, because the field team visited you, according to this, from February 2024, before February 2024, they've been asking for proof of employment. So why do we have to have you come into court for you to start saying, oh, this is important?
It just took me a little bit to get a job, but I was able to get it. And like I said, the day that she told me to bring the paperwork in, I was able to provide it, but she still.
Who lives with you at your home?
It's just me and my roommate, but right now I'm about to move back to my mom's house.
All right, what is Hornitos Tequila?
It's just a drink. I live at my roommate's house. It's an apartment,
And how many bedrooms?
just 2.
So why is your apartment in disrepair?
I'm sorry.
Why is the apartment in disrepair?
It's just a little messy.
No, I mean, they're saying that it's not just a little messy. What I'm reading is not good. Have you talked to a counselor? Do you need a counselor? What's going on?
I mean, that would be kind of helpful.
Well, no, I mean, what's going on in your life? Why is your apartment the way it is?
I really don't have an answer. It's just messy.
Do y'all have dogs at that?
Yeah, we do have a dog.
All right, just one?
Yes, ma'am.
And how old is that dog?
About a year.
All right, and what type of dog is it?
She's an American bully.
All right. So they're saying there's problems with that apartment based upon, I'm assuming the pet you have, because they're saying it's drenched in urine and feces. So that means somebody is not picking up after the dog.
Not gonna lie, it probably smells a little bad, but it's not like it's not everywhere, but it does smell a little bad.
All right, is this your dog or your roommate's dog?
It's both of our dogs. It's mainly his, but it's both of our dogs.
All right, and you say you're going to go live with your mom?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you talked to your mom? Does she want you there?
Yes, ma'am. For a little bit, at least a month until I'm able to get my own place. I'm looking to get my own studio apartment for now.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking at it. They're about $600. So they're a little bit more affordable than the apartment that I'm staying at right now.
All right, if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
A negative, like my other drug test.
All right, can we do a drug test today?
Yes.
All right, let's see what the drug test is, and then I'll tell you what we're going to do about this situation.
This one.
All right, just have a seat.
It's not submitted.
Oh, you haven't submitted your UA? Let me just tell you right now, you can sit there and drink all the water you want. This is what I've discovered. And I'm telling you this story. It's a true story. It's about one of the reporters who used to be on ESPN Sports. And he said the police were knocking on his door and he was a drug user. And he said he prayed hard. If you'll just let me be negative, I promise I'll never use again. Sometimes people will sit in this court and you know what they're doing? They're praying to their higher power, just saying, hey, if you'll let me be negative, I promise I'll never use again. Now, sometimes your higher power, you know what they will say? No, if you use, you're gonna be positive. Sometimes the answer may be yes, but usually the answer is no.
This one.
So if you're intending to try to wait us out, guess what? You
No,
can't
I'm not-
wait me out, all right?
I'm not trying to do that.
All right, have a seat. We'll stay here until you give me the UA. All
Yes, sir.
right, so what are you positive for?
I came out positive for cocaine, which I don't know why, but the marijuana, I didn't think it would be in my system.
All right, so here's my question for you.
Yes,
Why are you being dishonest with the court? You're on deferred adjudication for a case that could land you in prison for life.
Yes, ma'am, I understand that.
So you're not supposed to be using. There are other things that are going on in your life. I don't know what, but
If I asked you, you could refer me to a counselor maybe. I'm
no,
not gonna lie, I've been,
no. Now you're trying to backtrack with me, and I don't appreciate that because I asked you if you were going to be positive. I remember we had this whole conversation about people's higher power, and you still sat there drinking water, and I'm sure you were praying that you would be negative.
no,
And the answer was you're positive, and you're positive for marijuana, and you're positive for cocaine. All right, so this is what's going to end up happening. You're going to take a seat in the box, and you're going into treatment today.
the treatment,
Mhm.
what is that?
All right, just have a seat in the box.
My name is Happy. I upload courtroom video for education purpose. This video may contain copyrighted works not specifically authorized for use, but believed in good faith to be protected by the fair use doctrine under Section 107 of U.S. copyright law.